The vast steppes of Ukraine have witnessed millennia of history. Nomadic tribes traversed these lands, leaving their mark on time. Among them were the Scythians, skilled warriors and artisans. They established trade routes connecting Europe and Asia. Greek colonists founded settlements like Olbia and Chersonesus. These outposts became centers of trade and cultural exchange. As centuries passed, new powers emerged. The 9th century witnessed the emergence of a powerful East Slavic state, Kievan Rus. Founded by the legendary Viking ruler Oleg, who united various Slavic and Finnic tribes under his banner, Kievan Rus rapidly expanded its influence. Its strategic location along the Dnieper River, a major trade artery connecting the Baltic and Black Seas, facilitated commerce and cultural exchange. Under the rule of Prince Vladimir the Great, Kievan Rus underwent a profound transformation. Embracing Eastern Orthodox Christianity in 988, Vladimir ushered in a new era of religious and cultural unity. Monasteries became centers of learning, and Byzantine art and architecture flourished, leaving an enduring legacy on Ukrainian culture. Kievan Rus reached its zenith under the reign of Yaroslav the Wise, from 1019 to 1054. Renowned for his wisdom and legal reforms, Yaroslav codified the Rus' legal system, promoted literacy, and oversaw the construction of magnificent churches, including the iconic St. Sophia Cathedral in Kiev. This golden age established Kievan Rus as a formidable power in Eastern Europe, a beacon of civilization and learning. The 13th century shattered the unity of Kievan Rus. Mongol hordes under Batu Khan swept from the east. The invasion sacked Kiev in 1240, bringing Rus to its knees. The Mongol yoke led to fragmentation and foreign domination. New powers emerged as Mongol influence waned. The Grand Duchy of Lithuania expanded eastward. The union with Poland in 1569 shifted power again. The 16th century witnessed the rise of a new force in Ukrainian history, the Cossacks. These free-spirited warriors, often of peasant origin, sought refuge from serfdom and social oppression in the vast, sparsely populated steppes south of Ukrainian territories controlled by the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Skilled horsemen, boatmen, and fierce fighters, they formed self-governing communities beyond the reach of traditional authorities. The Zaporozhian Sich, a fortified island stronghold in the Dnieper River, became a symbol of Cossack independence and a center of resistance against Polish rule. From here, Cossack bands launched daring raids against Ottoman Turkish territories to the south, becoming renowned for their military prowess. One figure stands out among the Cossack leaders, Bohdan Khmelnytsky. In 1648, Khmelnytsky, a charismatic hetman, ignited a massive uprising against Polish rule. The Khmelnytsky uprising, fueled by religious and social grievances, engulfed the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, marking a turning point in Ukrainian history. Seeking allies in his struggle, Khmelnytsky concluded the Treaty of Pereyaslav with Tsar Alexis of Russia in 1654, placing Ukraine under Russian protection. Section 5. The Russian Empire, a new era of subjugation and resistance. The Treaty of Pereyaslav, while initially perceived as a path to preserve Ukrainian autonomy, proved to be a double-edged sword. Over time, the Russian Tsars gradually eroded Cossack freedoms and tightened their grip on Ukrainian lands. The autonomy of the Zaporozhian Sich was curtailed, and Ukrainian elites faced increasing pressure to assimilate into Russian society. Despite the growing restrictions, Ukrainian culture continued to flourish. The 18th century saw the rise of the Cossack Baroque, a unique architectural style blending European influences with local traditions. Literature, music, and theater thrived, reflecting the enduring spirit of the Ukrainian people. Resistance to Russian rule smoldered beneath the surface. Popular uprisings, often led by Cossack veterans yearning for their lost freedoms, erupted periodically, challenging the authority of the Tsar. These rebellions, though ultimately suppressed, demonstrated the enduring desire for self-determination among Ukrainians. Section 6. National Awakening, Taras Shevchenko and the Seeds of Independence. The 19th century witnessed a surge of national consciousness across Europe, and Ukraine was no exception. Inspired by the ideals of the Enlightenment and Romanticism, Ukrainian intellectuals began to rediscover their cultural heritage and articulate a vision for a nation free from foreign rule. At the forefront of this national awakening stood Taras Shevchenko, a poet, writer, and artist whose works became a cornerstone of Ukrainian national identity. Born into serfdom, Shevchenko's powerful verses exposed the injustices of social oppression and celebrated the resilience and spirit of the Ukrainian people. His call for national liberation resonated deeply, inspiring generations to come. Alongside Shevchenko, historians, linguists, and ethnographers embarked on a quest to reconstruct Ukraine's past, collecting folklore, studying traditional music, and documenting the rich tapestry of Ukrainian culture. This cultural revival played a crucial role in fostering a sense of national unity and laying the groundwork for future political aspirations. Section 7. Trials of the 20th Century, Wars, Famine, and the Soviet Grip. The 20th century proved to be a tumultuous period for Ukraine, marked by both fleeting moments of independence and brutal periods of oppression. The collapse of the Russian Empire in the aftermath of World War I created a window of opportunity for Ukrainian self-determination. In 1918, the Ukrainian People's Republic declared independence, a short-lived but significant chapter in Ukrainian history. However, this newfound freedom was short-lived. Caught in the crossfire of the Russian Civil War, Ukraine became a battleground for competing forces. Ultimately, the Bolsheviks emerged victorious, crushing the Ukrainian independence movement and incorporating most of Ukraine into the Soviet Union as the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic. The Soviet regime imposed a totalitarian system, suppressing Ukrainian culture and language while pursuing a policy of forced collectivization of agriculture. The consequences were devastating. The Holodomor, a man-made famine engineered by the Soviet government in 1932 to 1933, claimed the lives of millions of Ukrainians, leaving an indelible scar on the nation's psyche. Section 8. The Path to Freedom, Independence, and the Orange Revolution. Despite the horrors of the 20th century, the Ukrainian spirit remained unbroken. The desire for freedom and self-determination, nurtured for generations, found new expression in the latter half of the century. The Chernobyl disaster of 1986, a catastrophic nuclear accident that exposed the shortcomings of the Soviet system, further fueled calls for change. On August 24, 1991, Ukraine declared its independence from the collapsing Soviet Union, marking a historic moment for the Ukrainian people. The declaration, endorsed by an overwhelming majority in a nationwide referendum, affirmed Ukraine's right to chart its own course as a free and independent nation. The transition to democracy proved to be a challenging process. Corruption, economic hardship, and political instability plagued the newly independent state. However, the Ukrainian people demonstrated their commitment to democratic values during the Orange Revolution of 2004. Massive protests erupted after a fraudulent presidential election, forcing the authorities to hold a new vote, ultimately bringing Viktor Yushchenko, a pro-Western reformer, to power. Section 9. Euromaidan, a nation's fight for democracy and European aspiration. The spirit of the Orange Revolution resurfaced in 2013 with even greater force, when the government of Viktor Yanukovych, succumbing to pressure from Moscow, backtracked on a planned association agreement with the European Union. Ukrainians took to the streets in protest. The Euromaidan protests, named after Kiev's independent square, Maidan Nezalezhnosti, became a testament to the Ukrainian people's unwavering commitment to democracy, human rights, and European integration. For months, protesters braved freezing temperatures, police brutality, and government repression, demanding a more democratic and accountable government. The Euromaidan protests culminated in the Revolution of Dignity, which led to Yanukovych's ousting and the formation of a new government committed to democratic reforms and closer ties with the West. The Euromaidan Revolution was a watershed moment in Ukrainian history, demonstrating the power of peaceful resistance and the unwavering desire for freedom among the Ukrainian people. It also highlighted the stark contrast between the values embraced by Ukraine and those of its authoritarian neighbor, Russia. War in Donbass and Russian aggression. The Euromaidan Revolution and Ukraine's westward turn were met with hostility by Russia. In February 2014, Russian troops seized control of Crimea. A sham referendum led to Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea. In April 2014, Russia instigated a separatist conflict in Donbass. The war in Donbass has claimed over 14,000 lives. Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022 escalated the conflict. Ukrainians have mounted a fierce resistance defending their homeland. Ukraine's unwavering spirit in the face of adversity. Throughout its history, Ukraine has faced numerous challenges and endured foreign domination. Yet the Ukrainian spirit remains unbroken. From the Cossack warriors to the Maidan protesters, Ukrainians have shown resilience and courage. The ongoing war with Russia tests the nation. Yet Ukrainians display unity, determination, and compassion. Ukraine's fight is for freedom and democracy. Their courage inspires the world, a testament to hope and light over darkness.